Okay, 3.2, solving quadratic equations and inequalities. Hopefully this looks familiar to you. Quadratic equations, standard form of a quadratic equation is right there on your screen. F of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. A, b, and c are real numbers, and a cannot equal 0. I'm going to give you a bonus opportunity right now. Can you answer this question, or these questions? My bonus opportunity to you would be, what would happen if a is 0? What type of equation would we have then? Okay, so think about that. Bonus opportunity if you get this right. So let's keep going. All right, so looking at quadratic equations, we've solved a bunch of them in the past. I figured I'd give you a refresher on how to solve most of them. So think the first one I gave you, let's kind of extract square roots. So in example 1, letter A, if you have x squared equals 81, how would you get x by itself? I think the first thing you're kind of saying to yourself is, okay, let's take the square root of both sides. When I take the square root of both sides, you get x equals, be careful, it's plus or minus 9. In my notes, I would probably put, for example, 1 with extracting square roots here. I would probably put, whenever you're solving an equation and you're taking a square root, you always need that plus or minus. Okay, so for letter B, obviously the first thing we would need to do is get x squared by itself. So I would have to divide both sides by 2. That gives me x squared equals 8. Think I got to take the square root of both sides from here. So if I take the square root of both sides, you can see, break down your square root of 8. You can break that down, square root of 4 times the square root of 2. Obviously the square root of 4 is 2. Tack on that root 2. Don't forget your plus or minus. Letter C, this is a little foreshadowing. We're going to run into this situation when we start to complete the square. So it's going to be important that you really pay attention to how to do these, because I'm going to build upon this in the next couple of days. So, same deal. Letter C. The advice that I would give you, you could write that out twice and FOIL it. It's going to be a lot more work than is necessary. Why not just get to the point and simply take the square root right away? So when I take the square root of the left-hand side, I get x minus 5. When I take the square root of the right-hand side, think square root of 81 plus or minus 9. So to solve for x, here's what I want you to think about. And I'm going to write it out for you the first time so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. What I can do is I can set x minus 5 equal to positive 9, and I can set x minus 5 equal to negative 9. That's what that plus or minus means. And then if I solve the two of them, I get x equals 14, and I get x equals negative 4. Letter D, same deal. Take square root of both sides. Left-hand side, I'll be left with x plus 2. Right-hand side, be careful. You want to break down your square root of 48. How do I break that down? Well, I can break it down 16 times 3. Square root of 16 is 4. Tack on the root 3. Don't forget your plus or minus. Last step, to get x by itself, x is being added by 2. So to undo that, I subtract 2 on both sides. That gives me negative 2 plus or minus 4 root 3. Be careful, they're not like terms, so I can't combine them. Just to kind of show you, though, what that means, you're basically going to have negative 2 plus 4 root 3, negative 2 minus 4 root 3. What I have in the green box, excuse me, what I have in the green box, those are exact answers. The stars that I have there are if I were to ask you for the decimal answers. You would do negative 2 plus 4 root 3 in your calculator and hit equals, negative 2 minus 4 root 3 in your calculator and hit equals. So probably in your notes, Boxed answer is exact. Starred answers, if I would figure out what those decimals are, those would be rounded or approximate answers.